So it's time to start the real calculation, and as I was telling you, you can find the alignment construction module with the motorway icon, alignment design. A new window opens and we have a bunch of different possibilities here. But first of all, or the first time we start up our calculation, we don't have any data inside the calculation window. We don't have any alignments in our database, which is this. So we need to construct a new one. And to do this, we start by picking an object. And my first alignment element will be this straight line going from the roundabout. Choose it and press enter. You can see that the part of this alignment turned green, and at the same time it appeared in the calculation window. You will notice that there's an A and a B. This tells us the direction of the alignment. Had there been a B here and an A here, the alignment was turned the wrong way around, and we would have to turn it. To turn an alignment, you go to modify and turn, and you can see that the direction changes. But we need to go to the east, so we'll turn it back. Now if I list this element in that I just sketched in AutoCAD, I can see that it's a radius 800. So this is what I need to proceed with in my alignment calculation. The difference between the calculation and the sketch is that in the calculation we will have transition curves, and if we go to modify and append combination, you can see there's some different possibilities of adding alignment combinations. What I need now is a transition curve and then a radius, so I will choose AR. A is for transition, R for radius, and it will insert the two wanted elements. You can see the transition curve, it's blue, and the radius is red. The radius inserted is 200. I will just go and change it to 800, like this. And I now get a message, or I can see that the light down here turned red, and this means that the way this alignment is looking right now, I will not be able to fit in a radius 800. It's simply not possible to calculate the geometry of such a combination. But I know that I am going in this direction, so I will click my alignment, get the blue handles, and then I'll just drag, and now you can see the calculation turns green. I will drag my calculation in the direction that I anticipated from the beginning, approximately. So we can see there's still room for the transition curve between the roundabout and the radius. If I take my alignment and drag it further down, there's not enough room, and this is why the calculation goes into not okay. But this situation is okay, and I'm now ready to insert my next combination, which is a line. But before I can insert my line, I need a transition curve. This means that I need the combination transition and line AL, like this. I will drag my line to the end of the sketched line, like this, and the next thing I need will then be a transition curve and a radius, and I'll just list the radius size. It was 600, so I will go to modify, append combination, AR, get my usual 200 and I'll put in a 600. Like this. And then drag it until it's close. So now the next element combination I need will be what we call a transverse transition, being a double transition. So we go from radius to transition to radius, and of course then a radius pointing the opposite way. You will find this in a pen combination and reverse transition. If we zoom a bit, we can see that there is one transition here and one transition here. Now I forgot to read the size of this radius used around the church. It's a 400. So I'll change my radius into 400 like this, and then I will drag something like this. I can now see my radius is going in on the church area, so I will probably have to drag the part down here as well. So it's a lot of dragging back and forth until you find the right combination. Now the last two elements I need will be a transition curve and a piece of straight line. So modify. Before I insert the next element, I need to be sure that I am in or on the last element of the alignment. Otherwise it will just try and put it in the middle, and that's not good. So modify a pen combination AL, and I can see now that this is much too big. I would like my transition curve to be much smaller. I will just go and change the length to 40, and I will then try to drag my line onto the existing road center like this and like this, and things are still looking okay around the church, so this seems to be okay. When you are happy with your alignment, you need to draw it and you need to save it into the database. Now to draw it, you just press OK, draw, and the alignment is drawn. You can see this is the white line. So the next step will then be to draw it so that it looks good and to save it into the database.